Gigan. This cyborg monster has terrorized Godzilla for decades. Half space dinosaur, half robot. Gigan may not have been in the most popular Godzilla films ever made, but that didn't stop this monster mercenary from becoming a cult favorite amongst fans of the series. And for good reason. Appearing in 3 movies since 1972, this alien kaiju has never backed away from giving the king of the monsters and his allies one hell of a fight. First appearing in Godzilla vs. Gigan, the cyborg was sent to Earth alongside King Ghidorah in an attempt to take over the planet by a hostile race of aliens. Disguised as humans, the aliens from the Hunter Nebula were actually an advanced civilization of space-faring cockroaches, forced to leave their homeworld due to another species on their planet ravaging all of the planet's resources, leaving the entire place lifeless and covered in pollution that would go on to last for thousands of years. While Earth is a perfect new home for these alien bugs, the thought of sharing the planet with another destructive species, us humans, was a no-go. While they had their own devious plan of world domination, their ultimate weapons were Ghidorah and Gigan. These 2 alpha monsters would have easily helped make the Roach's plans for domination come into fruition, but this was before Godzilla and his right-hand monster Anguirus were notified that something was severely wrong on their planet. Leaving Monster Island and hastily swimming to the threat, Godzilla and Anguirus were in for one hell of a battle. Gigan, with his martial arts fight moves and array of brutal blades, combined with the sheer power of Ghidorah, was a true challenge for the protectors of Earth. The fight, at times, seemed to be heading in the favor of Ghidorah and Gigan, but in classic Godzilla fashion, the aid of mankind and the desire to not fail allowed Godzilla and Anguirus to prevail, getting the upper hand in battle, kicking the crap out of both of the space monsters and forcing them to retreat and abandon their alien overlords. Gigan returned 2 more times in the series, Godzilla vs. Megalon, where Gigan plays an almost identical role as what we've seen in Godzilla vs. Gigan, coming down to Earth to aid Megalon in an attempt to overthrow human and Gojira control. But just like in his earlier film, Gigan was defeated and ran back off to space, not returning again for over 30 years, this time in Godzilla Final Wars. This version of the monster had similar origins, however this time, Gigan managed to make it to Earth thousands of years ago. We don't know much of what the cyborg's goal was here, but we do know that Mothra defeated Gigan and placed the monster in an extreme state of hibernation. Fast forward to modern times and Gigan is awoken by the Exilians, another alien race hell-bent on taking over the planet. This newer and sleeker Gigan was the alien's primary weapon in the hopes of destroying Godzilla, or at the very least keeping him out of the fight. Godzilla and Gigan had an epic battle where Godzilla nearly was defeated in brutal fashion if not for a well-aimed atomic blast that decapitated Gigan. The cyborg would go on to be repaired by the aliens, this time giving Gigan a new head and replacing his sickle blade arms to, get this, double-bladed chainsaws on each arm. Hell yeah! These weapons are cleverly nicknamed the Bloody Saws. With this upgrade, Gigan fought Mothra in what was no doubt a revenge battle thousands of years in the making. With its new assortment of weapons, Gigan was giving the Queen of the Monsters quite the challenge. With victory within grasp, Gigan fired his razor discs that launched from slots in its torso area at Mothra, but the deadly blades missed the agile Moth. Gigan quickly followed this attack up with a laser blast, which struck Mothra, catching her ablaze. Gigan began to boast and do a victory dance of sorts, but in classic movie villain fashion, the blades Gigan shot out at Mothra earlier came back around like a boomerang and once again decapitated Gigan. The now headless cyborg monster stumbled around for a while until Mothra flew right into Gigan, destroying the cyborg once and for all. Gigan did go on to show up in a few more odd appearances that weren't part of the mainline set of Godzilla films, and then went on to appear in a few video games which allowed fans to finally get to play as the bladed assassin from space. You can see how Gigan has managed to gain popularity with his brutal weapons and overall horror film vibes, with all those razor-sharp blades and chainsaw things going on. The Cyclops-like robotic eye and overall cyborg appeal, swords or saws for arms, and that menacing buzzsaw going up its torso certainly deliver a monster that is out of this world. If Godzilla is Batman, the Gigan would certainly be his Joker in this universe, preferring to get up close and personal in his fights, using his bladed weapons and twisted mentality to brutalize, shame, and inflict massive damage on his foes. But once the battle goes in his opponent's favor, Gigan is quick to retreat and run away, showing that the cyborg is either slightly a coward, or that it's just smart enough to get the hell out of a bad situation before it gets worse. So could Gigan work in the Monsterverse? Apparently some people behind the legendary Monsters series of movies think so. Remember the part in King of the Monsters where the other Titans bow down to Godzilla? Official concept art for this particular scene added another monster to the crowd that was not in the movie, you guessed it, Gigan. This could just be that the artist who created this image was a big-time fan of the classic Toho character. Or that there was at one point some talks about the cyborg joining the Monsterverse. Ghidorah having Gigan fight alongside him just like they did back in 1972 would have been a great callback for the fans and would have made that last battle a little bit more memorable. But whether it was red flagged by Toho or was never anything more than a nice Easter egg, Gigan never made it to the final version of the story. Recently, we made a video on Biollante and if that monster could make it in this new series. And in that video, Al explains how director of King of the Monsters, Michael Dougherty, would have loved to use Biollante as his first option for another classic Toho monster. His second pick would have been Gigan. So it does appear like Gigan is a front runner if there is ever another chance to bring back a classic kaiju from Toho. But how would Gigan actually fit in this universe? Would it make sense with the current themes and tones of the Monsterverse? If you would have asked me this after Godzilla 2014 and Skull Island, I would have told you no, but the franchise has evolved. And now with Mechagodzilla making an epic return to the big screen, an appearance that was mostly praised and supported amongst the viewers of Godzilla vs. Kong, now is the perfect time to bring back the cyborg assassin. But how would it fit into the story? The Hollow Earth allows the Monsterverse to steer away from the alien invaders from space trope that has been done to death in the franchise. In a mysterious world that has no connections to reality or to any established set of rules, Gigan could very well be hidden in some unknown location in the Hollow Earth. Maybe the cyborg did come from space sometime in the ancient past, but now resides in the Hollow Earth after being defeated by a protector of Earth like Mothra, just like what happened in the lore of Godzilla Final Wars. Play this one out in your head. As Monarch continues to study and explore the vast space of the Hollow Earth, perhaps they stumble upon another mighty temple, crafted during a time long forgotten by the surface world. Inside this temple, a sleeping assassin waits. In classic fashion, humans wouldn't just be happy with leaving things as they are, and would start to monitor the area, looking for any signals of Titan activity. Once they discovered a hibernating cyborg kaiju with alien technology combined with biology from another world, it wouldn't be long before they mistakenly woke Gigan, and the rest would be history. With Godzilla seeming to be out of the picture for some time now, Gigan would be a great threat and enemy for Kong. Gigan's martial arts and humanoid body would be ideal for fighting another bipedal human-like creature in Kong. Imagine Kong getting in a sword fight of sorts with Gigan, using his axe to fight the cyborg's hellish blades. With Kong being flesh and bone, any strike landed by Gigan would leave nasty gashes in his body, and the ape would be hard-pressed to come out of the fight without grave wounds, or to even survive. So what do you think, residents? Do you think Gigan could work in the Monsterverse? How would you bring this classic Toho monster back to the fray? Let us know in the comments. Residents, thank you for your time today, and I will see you in the next one.